I like this question about CRM as a product. I totally get it. Everything is a product to me. But how do you explain this to others that kind of looked at this thing that they have and they wanted to do something? How do you translate that message into people that are just using CRMs?
Yeah, the thought behind this one is, well, this is factual. So we'll start with the facts. 50% of CRM implementations fail. So if that's the starting point, the question is why. And if you look at why do they fail, it's because they treat them as projects. And so it's looking at this waterfall implementation. And so we just say that's the fundamental issue here. And so that's the root cause of why it's happening. So therefore, there must be a better way. And so if we take the agile methodology that you would apply to what you guys would do at Happily or any other product company, it's like, why can't that same concept exist for a CRM, not even for an implementation? And so we'll use words like product launch or MVP. And so that to us is really important, or it could be feature release. But the point is, you need to have the mindset that this is not a set it and forget it. Like the greatest good is adoption. And if you don't have those constant releases, then you're not going to drive that. And so it's a bit of a mindset shift, but those that get it really understand the impact that can have. So the question isn't if someone needs to own the CRM, it's who's going to own that on your behalf. And so that's really how we've positioned RP, is that we serve as your RevOps department, or more specifically, we own that HubSpot product on behalf of you. So if you're a CRO or
Mhm.
VP of sales, we are your partner. We are your chief of staff. And so instead of you having to figure out not only how to manage a sales team, but also be that product owner of HubSpot, we will serve that function for you.
Yeah. And I love this so much too, because if you think about it, a product evolves over time, right? A project just turns into another project later on, right? And you don't want to go through multiple projects just to have it fail and have to build up another one. And I think the other thing that's so interesting about it as well, it's especially for folks in a RevOps role, right? Like whether you guys are being that RevOps arm of a company, or you're supporting a RevOps team to then go deploy this for their own company, things like that. Look, the CRM is not just a product that you buy, it's a product that you end up producing and building, that your customer is like your coworkers, it's your different departments, right? And it's very much something that can be iterated and improved and evolve and do all these things over time, but it has to stay also consistent. So I love the way that you guys look at it, where it's just, listen, this is so much different than just, oh, we'll get it set up for you and we'll turn over the keys. It's okay, great. What happens when things change, right? What happens when things break? What happens when the business evolves or goes in a different direction, or we start to scale, right? And all of a sudden, the way we're using a CRM has to be looked at from a totally different perspective, right? Well, if it's a product that you're producing as the RevOps pros at that company, right, you're constantly thinking about, how can we make this thing better? How can we release new quote unquote features, right? Being the stuff that you're building to support the business, right? So I love the way that you guys look at that.
You're the business dynamic. And to your point,
Yeah.
so you may have a new product that you want to launch. You may have a new market that you want to go into. And so how do you make sure that the CRM is set up in a way, or you're going to have new reps that come into place. And so there's always something, to your point. And so you need to treat it as such. And so it goes back to the point of view, and that's really allowed us to be successful.